Now at 11, our Target 8 investigation continues.
You see clothing bins throughout West Michigan, but can you trust the names on the side? Tonight, we're tracking one of the biggest companies involved that critics say is part of a secretive financial empire.
Storm teammates tracking a chilly start for hunters tomorrow morning and a warm-up for the weekend.
And Laugh Fest hopes to raise a bunch of money for one specific program at Gilda's Club. We'll show you who that program impacts.
Live, this is 24-Hour News 8.
First at 11, we are hearing from those closest to the 3 people killed in what police say was a drunk driving crash near South Haven last night.
2 little girls and their adult cousin are the victims, all pronounced dead at the scene. And tonight, we know the suspect, a man with multiple drunk driving convictions in his past, will face several charges, including operating while intoxicated causing death. His family is opening up tonight about what happened and the struggle he had with alcohol.
24-Hour News 8's Leon Hendricks is live tonight at Bronson Hospital in Kalamazoo, where the survivors of this crash are recovering. Leon?
Brian and Susan, good evening. It's a tragedy most of us can't comprehend. 3 family members lost in one incident while heading home from dinner at McDonald's.
I wouldn't have traded it for the world.
It's a day that will haunt her forever, yet it's still one that she never wants to forget.
Yesterday was a day I'm really grateful I had with those girls.
It was what would be the last time she saw her grandchildren, Cassidy and Candace Berryhill, 4 and 2 years old.
They were just sweet, they were innocent, they had so much to give to the world.
Belinda Quinones lost her only 2 grandchildren and her niece, 24-year-old Brittany King, in a matter of moments. The crash on Phoenix Street near South Haven yesterday evening quickly discerned as a case of drunk driving.
He punched a hole through our whole family.
Family members of the suspect ID'd him as David Glenn Johnson II, a 32-year-old man with a laundry list of drunk driving offenses, among other past charges.
He was bound to kill somebody.
His great-grandma says alcohol was something Johnson was struggling with for years.
And he tried to quit, but he couldn't. I just don't know what to say or what to do.
Tears are the common denominator for those on opposite ends of a tragedy, both wishing for another chance at yesterday, today.
They lost their family. They lost their whole family. Grab them, hold on to them, love them while you have a chance.
Now, the father of those 2 little girls continues to recover here at Bronson Hospital. We're told that he has been conscious. Folks have been able to speak with him. It's been part of the tragedy in all this, trying to explain to him what happened, that his daughters did not survive, and then to have him go out of consciousness and forget it all and have to see him relive that again as they repeat the story of what happened last night. The family is looking for the public support and helping to pay for the funeral of those 2 little girls and the other victim. There is a fund set up at Fifth Third Bank. All the information on how you can contribute is right now at woodtv.com. Reporting live in Kalamazoo, Leon Hendricks, 24-Hour News 8.
Thank you, Leon. There are some unanswered questions tonight about the 3 killed. The 2 young girls were in the back seat of the car, but they were not in car seats. And Brittany King should not have been driving in the first place. Her license had been revoked for an operating while intoxicated conviction. It's unclear when David Johnson will be officially charged. We will continue to follow this story. We'll let you know when that happens.
You may see a few less people at work and school tomorrow. It is opening day of firearm deer season. Because of the viral disease EHD, though, impacting the herd, hunters won't be allowed to kill as many deer as normal. We've got all that information broken down at woodtv.com. Tonight, though, we do want to focus on your forecast for the morning. And Chief Meteorologist Bill Steffen is in the 24-hour tracking center.
Well, Brian, it's going to be a dry start to the deer hunting season, firearm deer hunting season. Really a very dry pattern across much of the country. A couple sprinkles out here in Minnesota. That's about all we've got to track. Let's take a look at the forecast for the early morning. We'll see temperatures a little bit below freezing in the mid-20s. There will be some scattered frost out there. I can't totally rule out a patch of fog somewhere, but most areas won't see that. We bounce up into the upper 30s here by the noon hour under partly cloudy skies, and we should be anywhere from partly to mostly cloudy during the afternoon, with high temperatures up into the mid-40s. Wind should be out of the south at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Here's a look at current temperatures. We're down to 30 here in Grand Rapids. Temperatures along the lakeshore, right on the beaches, they're a little bit above freezing. Most everybody inland is below freezing. Rush hour here in Grand Rapids, you'll find temperatures in the mid to upper 20s, partly cloudy skies, cool conditions, and a light south to southeast wind. Coming up, we'll see if there's any rain in that Storm Team 8-day forecast.
Our Target 8 investigators have been busy getting to the bottom of those bins that are popping up everywhere asking for your old clothes.
You asked us to find out if your stuff is really going to help people in need. At 5 o'clock, we told you how some charities do get a small fee for the use of their names on the donation bins.
Tonight, Target 8 investigator Henry Erb takes you inside one of the biggest names in the bin biz, one that critics say is part of a secretive financial empire.
The bright yellow bins seem to be everywhere. There are 13,000 of them in 20 states. They belong to an international charity called Planet Aid. In 2011, they collected and sold $31 million worth of used clothing to finance what it says are humanitarian programs in 15 third world countries. Here on South Division Avenue in Grand Rapids, Planet Aid has got you covered. This is one of their bins. And just down the block and across the street, there they are again. It's also one of the most controversial clothing bin charities. Charity Watch, based in Chicago, has been bad rapping Planet Aid for years. Planet Aid says more than 80% of its income goes to charitable purposes, but Charity Watch says that's misleading.
The biggest concern with Planet Aid is that only 29% of the value of whatever you put in that box is going to something that could be charitable.
Planet Aid says its fundraising cost, the expense of collecting used clothing, is charitable too because recycling clothing helps the needy and the environment. But Charity Watch doesn't buy that argument.
But the businesses could make that same claim.
The noisiest criticism of Planet Aid is its connection to something called the Teachers Group, an organization of activists promoting social justice begun in the 70s in Denmark. Anyone checking online will find websites alleging that Teachers Group-related charities, such as Planet Aid, have grown into a centrally run worldwide financial empire based on the used clothing industry. Some accuse the Teachers Group of being sinister, cultish, and secretive. Planet Aid calls the accusations very old. It says that it has even earned credit from the charity watchdog GuideStar for its commitment to transparency. And when Target 8 investigators visited a Teachers Group-connected school outside Dowagiac in Cass County, we strolled around with a camera for 15 minutes and nobody paid any attention. The campus dog didn't even bark. Like Planet Aid, the Institute for International Cooperation and Development, IICD Michigan, has a lot of clothing collection bins, 500 around the state.
And I know that these websites and they try to make it very suspect.
The school's director, Trina Wedelbo, says all the money they earn from the clothing donation bins goes into the school to train volunteers to work in Africa.
There are no money going out to some big places or to some shady whatever that these websites are going to do.
She says she is from Denmark and is part of the Teachers Group.
I would say we are humanitarians.
She says IICD Michigan trains volunteers to work on development projects for the Humana People-to-People movement, reported to be an umbrella group for many Teachers Group organizations. A former student from Japan was back from Malawi.
I was working with farmers in the community.
IICD's 500 clothing donation bins raised some $600,000 of the $1.3 million the school took in, according to its most recent report. Fundraising costs 40% of its budget. Vendelbo says the clothing donations require a warehouse, trucks, and drivers, as well as bins.
So it has a high cost, but it still gives some profit, and this profit we use here at the school.
As for the critics whose allegations about the Teachers Group pop up anytime you Google IICD or Planet Aid, Vendelbo says
that I think that many times if you do something that is against mainstream, you have somebody who doesn't like you.
I'm Target 8 investigator Henry Erb.
The Better Business Bureau says you can check out the charities before you drop your used stuff in them by going online. Several charity watchdog groups track many of the clothing bins seen on West Michigan streets. We do have links to their websites inside our story at woodtv.com.
A Wyoming company says it's expanding and adding more jobs in the process. Undercar Products Group is planning to add some 150 positions over 3 years. The company did receive tax incentives from the state and the city of Wyoming. Here's what they're planning on filling: 115 Tier 1 automotive light assembly jobs. You'll be making molds for car parts. 30 jobs are technical and involve machine maintenance. 5 are management positions. Hiring's expected to start early next year.
More people are getting back to work in Michigan. The state's unemployment rate fell 0.2 last month to 9.1%. That's still well above the national unemployment rate of 7.9%, though.
The man suspected of the I-96 roadway shootings is being ordered to undergo a competency exam before that case continues. Raleigh Castile is charged with 60 counts so far, including assault with intent to murder, in the 24 shootings in the I-96 corridor between Lansing and Detroit last month. A Berry County man was the only one shot and injured. He's recovering.
President Obama took questions that spanned the spectrum today at his press conference, but the hot topic was the fiscal cliff. The president says that he's confident he and Congress can reach an agreement before the January 1st deadline. He says the economy cannot afford a tax increase on all Americans. He says he will not agree to any budget deal that extends current tax rates for the wealthiest taxpayers. But congressional Republicans are sticking to their guns. House Speaker John Boehner said today that he wants to cooperate with the president, but not by raising income tax rates. Boehner says that would hurt job creation. Talks begin Friday between the White House and congressional leaders about averting that fiscal cliff.
Another key topic at the president's press conference today was the David Petraeus scandal. The president says that from what he's seen, no classified information was disclosed in the debacle that would harm national security. We also learned tonight that Petraeus will testify before the House Intelligence Committee Friday about the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi.
You'll want to stay connected with 24-Hour News 8 tomorrow as our crews cover several stories for you.
The Muskegon Heights School Board will be holding a special meeting at noon tomorrow to talk about the impact of the emergency manager proposal being voted down.
In Grand Rapids, you'll have a chance to weigh in on the district's proposal to close 10 schools. The open meeting is from 6 to 7:30 at Union High School.
And in Ottawa County, Danielle Michaels, the Grand Haven teen who was driving a van full of girls to a basketball game earlier this year when the van rolled, will be in court for a dispositional hearing. During that hearing, she'll learn her punishment for causing the crash. The 5 teens all survived.
There are people out there who are experiencing the same thing that you are.
Changes to Laugh Fest means more money for a crucial program. We'll have that story coming up.
It was the closest vote in years, but Justin Verlander did not win the AL Cy Young Award. We'll tell you who did and show you how close that vote was. That's coming up in sports.
And so far this month of November is 2.3 degrees colder than average in Grand Rapids and 3.4 degrees colder than average in Kalamazoo. But we're going to warm things up. Temperatures get above average up into the 50s here over the coming weekend. We'll talk about our chances for rain and snow in the Storm Team 8-day forecast coming up next.
Watching out for you. This is Storm Team 8.
Well, a nice evening here in West Michigan. Grand Rapids live picture from GVSU downtown. Light traffic on 131, the bright lights of the city, and skies out there are at least partly cloudy. And we'll be anywhere from partly cloudy to very occasionally mostly cloudy during the day tomorrow. Here's the way it looks for your daybreak forecast. We start out with temperatures in the mid to upper 20s, a little bit below freezing, could be a little bit of frost in the morning. By the noon hour, we're already getting close to 40 degrees. Wind should be light out of the south, and with those light winds, that'll make it feel a little bit warmer. Current temperatures at 30 Grand Rapids, Ionia, 31 Kalamazoo, 32 Battle Creek. Some temperatures in the mid 30s and even upper 30s there at the beach at Muskegon. And I think during the day tomorrow we should do about 2 or 3 degrees better than we did today, with readings in the mid 40s during the afternoon. Not a lot of wind out there. Wherever you see a 0, that means the wind is 2 miles an hour or less. And you can see there just aren't very many places reporting wind any stronger than that. And that's going to be the case right on into the weekend. Very light winds, cool and dry pattern shaping up for us. We'll see partly sunny skies, maybe mostly cloudy at times tomorrow again, but light winds. There may be a little bit of frost during the early morning hours, but no snow in the forecast through Thanksgiving Day. Here's the way it looks for the next 24 hours. These clouds kind of coming back on into the picture tomorrow like we had today. So the clouds will be thin enough to allow a little bit of sunshine to come on through. This is noon. We're up into the upper 30s in most areas. Late afternoon, we're low to mid 40s here, so a pretty nice day. I think we'll be seeing the clouds kind of hang tough here during the afternoon. But towards evening, temperatures fall a little bit below freezing, Each day we should see temperatures warm up just a little bit. Now tomorrow we'll start out with partly sunny skies. There will be some thicker cloud cover coming in off the lake during the afternoon for a while, but 45 degrees, even at the lake, winds should only be around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Good for anybody that wants to go fishing out there in the breakwaters. Here's a look at your 8-day forecast. I think we'll do about mid-40s tomorrow, upper 40s on Friday, low 50s over the weekend. Very pleasant weather. I think Friday, Saturday, and Sunday should turn out to be at least partly sunny, if not mostly sunny. We make the mid-50s here by Monday, and that mild weather trend holds into Thanksgiving Day. The only place we've got some rain there, Tuesday night, there is a slight chance for a light shower, but basically a dry pattern continues into the Thanksgiving holiday weekend.
Thank you, Bill. Laugh Fest is holding an additional fundraiser this year to help Gilda's Club Grand Rapids Children's Grief Counseling. Up next, a look at how that program helps those dealing with death.
A change to this year's Laugh Fest could address a pressing need.
Besides the money Gilda's Club Grand Rapids raises from the Comedy Festival, an extra fundraiser aims to raise money for the organization's Children's Grief Program, which Gilda says is in high demand.
24-Hour News 8's Ryan Takeo joins us live in studio to introduce us to one family affected.
The Children's Grief Program helps any child close to someone who died. Tonight we wanted to show you a family in that program dealing with grief.
There are people out there who are experiencing the same thing that you are.
If you've lost a loved one recently, you know how the Miltons feel. 11-year-old Kenya.
I wanted him to see a lot of stuff that happened in my life.
And 17-year-old Mecca.
I just felt alone, had nobody to talk to. I had to keep it all inside.
Are still coping with their father's death. Victor Milton died last March after diabetes and his hereditary heart problems took their toll. And Mom Brenda noticed her 4 kids were not handling it well.
Some of the children were quieter, moodier, others were acting out.
Earlier this year, she heard of Gilda's Children's Grief Program.
At first I thought Gilda's was just for cancer, cancer support group.
Especially when they're at the beginning stages, they feel like they're never going to smile again.
It's okay, you're not alone in the world.
And once the Miltons opened up, things got a little easier.
And ever since I came to Gilda's, I felt like, okay, I can share my story. People will understand.
Mecca beams about the program, but that's nothing compared to when she talks about her dad.
What's your favorite story about your dad?
Oh my God, what is it, my favorite story?
From once feeling alone,
I don't even know,
to now letting out plenty of laughs and making new memories.
Let's cut it a little bit more.
You can feel the Miltons' thanks on their journey to their new normal.
Somebody out there to help you through your grief and through your problems.
The Wege Foundation will match a $5 donation as part of the High Five campaign this year for Laugh Fest. That's in an effort to raise $100,000 for the Children's Grief Program to make that program free. And we have those details on how you can donate online at woodtv.com.
What a great program.
Absolutely.
Man.
Talk about putting a smile on someone's face.
Right.
Yep. Good story. Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan, thank you. Make sure and stay with us. Jack Doles has your sports coming up next.
Well, they already set that franchise record for futility, but the New Jersey Nets' all-time record for most consecutive losses to start a season is safe for now. Pistons finally picked up their first win of the year. Came in Game 9 in Philadelphia. Lawrence Frank had to like the effort in this one. First quarter, Kyle Singler got the start in place of a sick Rodney Stuckey. Nails the three-pointer, game tied at 13. Then Knight and Andre Drummond pick and roll. Drummond rewarded. 23-17 Detroit. Drummond now to Maxfield. Greg Monroe pounds it down, up 18 at that point. Third quarter, Monroe, two-man game with Tayshaun Prince. Strong to the hoop. Fourth quarter, Corey Maggette, first game as a Piston, knocks down the 20-footer. Pistons starting to open it up 71-54, but this one was Greg Monroe's night. 19 points, 18 rebounds. Pistons win at 94-76.
You know, it's formula for winning. You know, you look at defensively, holding them under 30% obviously was tremendous. Didn't have a quarter over 22. High assists, night 27. Out-rebounded them, got to the free throw line. Everyone who played contributed. I mean, it's you know, it shows what we're capable of doing, and like anything else, it's got to be a standard of how we play.
All right, Major League Baseball, 1 loss, 1 gain for the Tigers. The loss went to Justin Verlander, who did not pick up his 2nd straight Cy Young Award. That went to Tampa Bay lefty David Price. Price led the American League in wins and earned run average, won 20 games. Justin Verlander led the majors in innings pitched, complete games, and strikeouts. But Price ended up winning by 4 points in the voting, received 14 first-place votes. Verlander picked up 13. The gain for the Tigers comes in the form of free agent outfielder Torrey Hunter. USA Today reports he agreed to a 2-year, $26 million contract with the Tigers. Hunter tweeted, "Found a new job, headed to Motown to win that ring." He spent the past 5 seasons with the Angels, and he fills a couple of big needs for Detroit. Hunter's a 9-time Gold Glove Award winner, so he gives him some great defense. And he had an on-base percentage of more than 400 against left-handed pitchers. Expect to see him hit second and play right field. High school football, the drive to Ford Field features a rematch for Harper Creek. The Beavers are back in the semifinals for the 2nd straight year, and just like last year, their road to Detroit goes through Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Unfortunately, they came up short against the Eaglets last year, losing 14-10, something that still pains Harper Creek head coach Ed Greenman.
It's really special for our kids, our community, going up against Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and last year we had them right up to the end. 3:22 to go in the game, and we go ahead, and they have to go 80 yards to beat us, and they do it. So, you know, our kids are excited. We get a second chance at them. They're a great team, a great program, but we feel good about our preparation this week.
So you can tell coaches have really long memories. They played that game in Chelsea at 1 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah, something about that loss stayed with them.
Yep.
That's for
It
sure.
will until they beat them and get to Ford Field.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks,
the vision. Yep.
We'll be right back.
An unusually dry forecast as we head into firearm deer season. Tomorrow morning a little bit below freezing, mid-40s during the afternoon. Clouds will be kind of in and out. More sunshine though for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as temperatures head up above normal up into the low 50s, and the mild trend continues into next week. I think we'll be seeing good weather as we start the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, so that's good for anybody that might be traveling over the river and through the woods, whatever.
That's right. It's a nice stretch of weather there.
How about that?
Looking good, Bill. Thank you. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Have a good night.
When severe weather hits, be the first to know. Sign up for severe weather text alerts at woodtv.com. Another way we're watching out for you.